What's up, everybody? Tim here, along with
Maggie. Hello.
Maggie's here, and we're here to talk about something cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about the 91st?
Yes.
The 91st Academy Awards, which just wrapped up just a few minutes ago. And sweet mercy, mother of God, these awards. So let's dig right in. Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about the big surprises of the show and the big, just overall, like what we thought of the show. So to start, I want to talk about the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the show itself went really smooth without a host.
It really did.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, I'm pretty intoxicated. So this will go, we'll see. But yeah, no, I thought it went pretty well without a host. It was not significantly, about 45 minutes shorter than it normally is.
Well, it was just like I was saying recently, is that like there weren't those awkward moments where the host has to like introduce the people who are giving the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of appeared, which I felt was a lot easier, and there wasn't that random skit in like the middle of the Oscars.
Yeah.
That was like weird.
Like Neil Patrick Harris coming out naked, like in Birdman, or
Ellen ordered pizza, or like Jimmy Kimmel went over to like a theater that
just watch Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, so stupid.
So I thought that really the only thing we were missing was like an opening monologue, but in reality,
Queen did
Fey,
Queen did it, and Tina Fey
and Amy Schumer and
not Amy Schumer, Amy Poehler,
or Amy Poehler and
Maya Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph gave us a sort of like mini opening monologue, and I thought that was a really great choice on the part of the Oscars.
Yeah,
and
they were
honestly,
very good.
It clipped.
Yeah,
and like all of a sudden we were like, shit, there are 4 awards left. All right then.
Yeah, no, the show went by really fast. It had a good pace to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because we're gonna get into everything here, but the first few awards, we were pretty. There weren't a lot of surprises. There were things that I personally wanted to win that didn't. I really wanted Black Sheep to win Best Doc Short. But it ended up going to Period, End of Sentence. I really liked that doc short, so I'm not angry that the one that I liked more didn't win. Kind of stuff like that. Black Panther winning Score over Beale Street. I wanted Beale Street to win, but again, it's one of those things where like I understand why Black Panther won. But really there were no huge surprises to me up until the end, and not even the best picture, but the best actress as well.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of these awards. So if we look at some of got my list here. If we look into some of the smaller scale ones, so sound mixing, sound editing, both going to Black Panther, to Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm sorry. Makes sense. Original song going to Shallow. I get it. Original score, like I said, going to Black Panther.
Costume design and set design both went to Black Panther.
Yeah, yes. Cinematography going to Roma.
Director going to Roma.
Makeup going to Vice. Documentary going to Free Solo. None of these were shocking to me.
Even Rami winning Best Actor.
Out of all of these smaller scale awards, which I know you didn't see any of these, but the one that kind of shocked me the most was the short animated film, this short live action film going to Skin instead of Fauve. And I think that's only I didn't think Skin was that good.
So because it's so good, it's getting its own live action feature film.
It is. And so yeah, that's just kind of like, again, that might just be me. I didn't really enjoy that one. So to me, I didn't want it to win, but that's just personally. Visual effects, I was pretty bummed First Man won and Avengers didn't.
He was really bummed.
Yeah.
He witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah, but that's, that is what it is. I'm not, I don't know. I think out of the 5 movies, Avengers, Christopher Robin, First Man, Ready Player One, and Solo, First Man probably had the
least chance of winning?
Not even that. I just think that, First Man's visual effects were really, really excellent. You don't even realize that, They probably used a lot of
I guess
practical
that's
and visual
probably
effects.
where it is at, where like you don't realize that they're using visual effects.
In
but,
the
like
same-
in Avengers, you know
Yeah,
they're using
in the same way that Interstellar won over Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in 2014. It's kind of how
I
I
get
feel
that.
here, where First Man, I really wanted Avengers to win, but First Man, coming out with the win, I get it. Animated feature, Spider-Verse, obviously, foreign language going to Roma, obviously, screenplay going to Black Klansman, love it.
Well, pause.
Yep.
Foreign language going to Roma, not obviously.
Okay.
As somebody, well, Tim obviously saw all of the foreign films. So as someone who's seen 3 of the 5, Roma did not, of the 3 that I've seen, deserve to win, or 4, because I saw Roma. 4, Roma did not deserve to win. But
yep, you've seen 4 of them, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm saying,
Never look away.
no. What I'm saying is that, like, I think most people expected Roma to win.
I know, but I'm just saying, for the record, Roma is not the best.
For the record, Never Look Away is probably the best. Never Look Away is fucking fantastic. If you haven't seen it, which probably a lot of you.
It is really long.
It's 3 hours and 8 minutes long.
But it's so good.
The time flew by like that for me. And Roma's not a bad movie.
No, but
it's
I'm just saying
compared to these other 4.
I literally would have picked any foreign film that I saw over Roma.
I would agree with that. So then we get to, adapted screenplay, Black Klansman winning it, original screenplay going to Green Book. That was a bit of a surprise for me, but again, at the same time, it wasn't.
Spike Lee getting for the Black Klansman was a bit of a surprise. Like, we were sitting there like, I really hope this wins, but it's probably not going to. But then it did, and Spike Lee wrapped his legs around Samuel Jackson.
That was fun.
It was just really intense.
That was
really
fun.
happy.
And yeah. I thought The Favorite was going to win the original screenplay because I thought the dialogue in The Favorite was just really great. Even though I love Green Book, I thought that The Favorite,
clearly there was something there for Green Book that the Academy.
We're not there yet. So moving on to like the big one. So supporting role by an actress, Regina King, I think was not a surprise at all. Supporting role, Mahershala Ali, not a surprise. Those have been locked for a while. I think if anyone were going to upset either of those, it would have been Sam Rockwell in Vice, just because people like that political angle. And I think it also same thing, Amy Adams for Vice. I think that because, again, it's a legacy thing. She's been nominated so many times and hasn't won. I think it possibly could have gone to her, but again, no surprises in Regina King and Mahershala. Actor in a leading role, Rami Malek. I really would have liked to see Bradley Cooper win this one. Having just rewatched A Star Is Born, he's so good in that movie, but Rami Malek also definitely deserving.
And of all the other awards that he's won so far, it's really not a surprise.
No, it's not a surprise at all. But I mean, again, getting into now the surprises of the night. We thought Glenn Close was going to win Best Actress. And I shit you not, people, when Olivia Colman won, I was genuinely shocked. I said to Maggie right before the award when they were going through the names, if anyone was going to upset Glenn Close, it was going to be Olivia Colman.
She did.
I can't say that I'm happy about it.
Well, because the thing is, like, Glenn Close has had a whole career, and
she's been nominated a lot of times. I think this is her 7th nomination or something like that.
And like, the wife is really good, and honestly, of all the actresses in Favorite, Olivia Colman was the least.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone were so much better than her the entire movie.
See, for me, it goes. And like, for me, it probably goes.
The wife was about Glenn Close. And it was her movie.
See, to me, it goes. For the Favorite, it goes Rachel Weisz, then Olivia Colman, then Emma Stone. Well, that's okay. That's why film is subjective and fun. So yeah, I'm not like happy or mad or anything about this. I'm just surprised. I think everybody in that category gave good performances, and again, I've been very honest and open about my. Not distaste or anything, but like I just thought Roma was fine. So Yalitza was really good in the movie, though. For having never acted before, I get why was nominated for the film. Like, absolutely deserved. But yeah, Olivia Colman taking it from Glenn Close. That's a big surprise. Mm-hmm. And then we get to director. Alfonso, not a surprise at all. And it's funny because
3rd time on stage that night.
Yeah, it was his 3rd time on stage that night. And I just said to Maggie, like the other nominees, like if we look at them, like Alfonso, Yorgos, Spike Lee, Adam McKay, and Paweł Pawlikowski for Cold War. Cold War is the best part about it's the direction. And I would say the same thing for Roma. The best part about it is the direction and the cinematography.
It's Spike.
Again, yes. I think out of any of these, I would have liked. I think the person who deserved it the most is actually Yorgos Lanthimos.
I agree.
For the favorite. The person I wanted to see win was Spike, but I knew that Alfonso was going to win this. I've come to terms with it. I think that both movies he's won for, Gravity and Roma, are really overrated. I think Gravity is a spectacle to behold.
Gravity is boring.
But it's a boring movie. And I think and the other thing too is I saw Gravity in the theater in 3D on the biggest screen around, and it was incredible. But then once it's at home on Blu-ray, it's not.
Every time I remember that Alfonso Cuarón directed Prisoner of Azkaban, nothing against Prisoner of Azkaban, because I love that movie. It just like blows my mind a little bit.
That he made Roma?
Well, that like he's an Oscar darling, but he made such a popular movie.
I mean, there's a lot of people who have done that.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Yorgos, let's speak about him real quick.
Yes.
Tim says that he doesn't think that Yorgos will, like, because when Yorgos didn't win,
I
said it'll be fine because he's young and he has a wonderful career in front of him. And Tim said, well, but he makes weird movies, so let's see if he really can connect with the Academy.
And I mean that because Yorgos has written Dogtooth. He wrote Dogtooth, The Lobster, and Killing of a Sacred Deer. The Lobster I met on. Killing of a Sacred Deer, I really liked that movie.
Dark as shit.
Yes, and those movies did not connect with audiences or the critics, yes. But
they were
audiences,
good, but they're hard to watch.
You did not like The Lobster.
It was hard to watch.
All I'm saying is The Favorite wasn't written by him. So if he continues to direct movies like The Favorite, and he can no, don't get me wrong. I want him to continue to direct his own scripts and keep writing because I think his scripts are interesting and fun. But
Killing of a Secret Deer was definitely a step up from The Lobster.
I would agree with that. I think most people prefer The Lobster, but I 100% agree with that. My point, though, is if he continues to direct movies like The Favorite, that's when he would get nominated. I don't think he's ever going to be recognized for a movie as weird as Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. Okay, let's get into the beefy boy here. And I'm going to need some help from the Scott Yench, sorry. I'm going to need to get into the nitty-gritty here. I'm going to have to ask the chat room, if you're watching, to help me out here. So, Green Book wins Best Picture. And I lost my mind a little bit. Green Book was my second favorite film of the year. I almost put it as number one, but Avengers, just because of my nerdness and I grew up with the Avengers just kind of hit me a little bit more. But that being said, Green Book winning absolutely excites the hell out of me. I was so happy that this happened for Green Book. We hugged, we kissed when it happened. We're very excited.
You danced a little?
I danced a little bit.
See my Facebook for
I shook it up.
Moment?
That being said, let's talk about the rest of these nominees and kind of like, how did this happen? How did this happen?
Okay, so let's go back a few weeks to your theory. Now, your theory was a little different.
Yep, no, okay, go ahead.
But it's true. So Tim's theory was he thought Cold War was going to win Best Foreign Film because everyone was going to vote for it for Roma for Best Picture.
Yeah.
So that Roma was going to win Best Picture and Cold War was going to win Best Foreign Film because people were going to be like, oh, well, you know, we're already voting for it for Best Picture, so then we'll just vote for something else for Best Foreign Film. So I think the opposite thing sort of happened where everyone voted for Roma for foreign film.
Yeah.
And then was like, let's vote for something else. And I'm going to be honest. Let me say one more thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Green Book, I know there's been a lot of controversy around it, but the performances were really good. And the other thing is that movie is happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that might surprise people that a happy movie walked away with the Oscar because it usually doesn't. But I think that's part of the reason that it won. Yeah. Is that you walk away from this movie feeling good.
Yeah, it's not a movie like Spotlight or Birdman.
Yeah.
or what won
Moonlight,
or what won last year, Shape of Water. Shape of Water is not like a sad movie, but it's
just
dark
like,
and
it's
gothic.
definitely
Yeah,
like not a fluffy movie, but it is.
It is. No, it
for the
is.
Oscars,
It is.
It's a fluffy movie.
But here's the thing: is you're right. The controversy surrounding Green Book has baffled me. Viggo Mortensen said some things,
but it wasn't about Viggo.
No. But just let me. Viggo said some things, and people blew it way out of proportion. And I think Mahershala, I've actually personally never seen the video of Viggo and what he said, and we don't need to get really deep into it. But I know that him and Mahershala Ali have this great relationship. I think that people are upset because, Green Book is this movie that's trying to be about tackling racism, and it's a PG-13, very mainstream lined movie about racism, whereas movies like Black Klansman, If Beale Street Could Talk, even last year's Get Out, where those dive a little bit deeper into the topic, whereas again, Green Book is kind of like on the surface, and the lead role is a white man.
Right, and that's the
supporting
other
role
thing
is a black
I've heard
man.
that is that the film themselves, the studio themselves, chose to market Viggo Mortensen as the lead,
but to me. And we don't need to get into into all of that, but I think, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Jeff Snyder, who works at Collider Video and Collider.com, you can go check out their videos. They do a weekly show called For Your Consideration, where it's Scott Mance, Perry Nemiroff, and Jeff Snyder. And Jeff Snyder has been saying for weeks that he thinks that it's just been dark and dark and dark in the movies, just like everyone's always talking about these dark dramas. And they think that in these times where, again, not to get into politics, but politics are dark, people tend to focus on the darkness and the sadness instead of the good things going on in the world, that the Academy would focus on a movie that just made people feel happy. And I'm sorry, but when I left Green Book, when we saw it like 3 weeks.
Happiness.
Yeah, we saw it like 3 weeks early, back in October or November, and you and I walked out of the theater just filled with joy. It's just a nice movie, and that's the thing is like, yeah, and like. If we go down these lists, A Star Is Born. Love it.
Depressing.
Cry every time.
Yeah.
Black Klansman. I liked it a lot more when I watched it at home on Blu-ray. I really did enjoy it a lot more.
It still ends with a really intense message.
Black Panther. It's an MCU Marvel movie that
I wasn't really thinking about.
I enjoy it. It had no business being nominated for Best Picture. Bohemian Rhapsody, a movie I enjoyed.
He died.
No business for being nominated for Best Picture. The Favorite. Again.
I don't even remember how that movie ended.
There you go. Basically saying what I was gonna get at. It's a good movie. It's kind of forgettable.
Wasn't Rachel Weisz like exiled? That's what happened.
I mean, we're not gonna talk spoilers about the movie if someone hasn't seen it.
But you should still watch it because Nicholas Hoult was not
nominated,
given,
and he was really good.
And he was good.
Roma is a fine movie.
Also depressing.
Nominated for Best Picture though, and Vice is a movie that's just meh. It
makes you kind of angry.
It's too one-sided, in my opinion, and depending on what side you're on, you might disagree with me.
Well, somebody on the other side of him, it made me kind of angry.
Oh, what? What are you saying?
In terms of like we're opposite sides.
Oh, and it made you angry because you're more on the side of Vice. Yeah, I understand that. But the movie, it was more style over substance, and Green Book was just from a performances, from a screenplay, from a direction. All the way around, it was just a good movie.
It's a movie I want to show to my mother.
There you go.
Happy.
There you go. And that's the thing, is like, I'm completely and utterly shocked that Roma didn't win. I didn't want it to win, but I'm shocked that it didn't. I think that if I had to pick a movie that wasn't going to win over Roma, I thought the upset would probably have gone to, honestly, Black Klansman.
Or Black Panther.
Yeah, but when Julia Roberts spoke the words Green Book, I really did lose my mind. It was my second favorite film of the year. I absolutely loved it. It's a big shock. I think that, like, people tend to focus on the, like, shockers of the stuff like, oh, they said La La Land instead of Moonlight. But this is just a shock in a completely different way. Like, what do you have to say, Maggie?
Yeah, I mean, didn't realize the whole controversy behind it until I read an article this week about all the things that were happening. And I would say know what's going on behind the movie, but at the same time, watch the movie for what it is and what the filmmakers were trying to create and the message they wanted to make, which obviously is a pretty basic message. You know, racism is bad.
Yeah.
But it's also about, like, acceptance and getting to know people who you think you don't like and that sort of thing, and just, like, overcoming first impressions. And I would say just watch it and take it for what it is, and still watch these other movies even though they're going to make you cry. But I'm really not mad that Green Book won anyway.
One of the best moments of the night was Guillermo del Toro introducing director. And one of the things that he said, which, again, reasons why I friggin' love Guillermo del Toro.
We watched Shape of Water this morning. We really kind of slept.
We watched through the first half.
But it was great.
One of the things del Toro said was, you know, about the directors, like, you've all been nominated, yes, but just because one of you doesn't win doesn't mean your movie has any less value. Mm-hmm. In the same way that if you don't like the Beauty and the Beast remake, you still got the original movie. You can go and watch that. You don't like the Ben-Hur remake that kind of sucked with Toby Kebbell, you still got the Charlton Heston movie. You can go back and watch that.
Right.
You don't need to, like, compare the two. Just because you don't like this one doesn't mean you don't. And so just because Green Book won doesn't mean that if Roma was your favorite movie of the year, you can't go back and you can't watch Roma and say, this is my favorite movie of the year. And I get that to some people, and this is why it's hard, I get that to some people, we're two white people sitting here talking about why we liked Green Book. And to some other people, that might not work for them, and they'd rather see a movie like BlacKkKlansman or Black Panther.
I loved BlacKkKlansman for the record.
Or Roma win. But I think that Green Book, again, is a movie that anybody could watch. Anybody from any age. There's language and there's some, you know, questionable material in Green Book.
I think the language is the worst.
Maybe, but it's a PG-13 movie. But I think you could show. I think I could go and show my 11-year-old niece Green Book.
I don't know if she'd get it, to be completely honest.
No, I think though my point is that she would respond to Green Book more than positively, in a positive way toward and have an effect on her life in the future more than a movie like Roma would.
Right. If you're going to introduce the concept to her, Green Book's the way to do it.
Yeah. So overall, an interesting Academy Awards. I feel like
crazy.
I feel like we say this every year, but like we said on the top, the movie or the show itself.
Well, we just went in thinking it was going to be crazy.
Yeah,
because of all the drama.
We were expecting controversy and craziness.
But it really wasn't. And
no,
like
the
most political speech was Spike's, but we were all happy because he won.
Absolutely. 100%.
So like,
yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, guys, those are our thoughts on the 91st Academy Awards. What a crazy ride. Yeah, Green Book is the winner of the Best Picture of 2018. Who knows what 2019 will bring? Honestly, as a whole, 2018 is the best movie so far to come out this year. Behind Alita. I like Alita. Yeah, no, go, guys, support cinema like this. Like
for real.
For real. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I've never seen a foreign film really before this year. And when Tim told me that Never Look Away was 3.5 hours, I almost cried. But honestly, it was so good.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're not going to nominate foreign films that are bad, but they were all really good.
Yeah.
Like better than the Best Picture nominees, some of them.
Like, honestly, Shoplifters, Never Look Away, and Cold War were all better than Black Panther, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Vice.
Well, and even like thinking about Skin, like it's a short film that you probably never think about seeing, but now it's going to launch this whole feature-length film. And imagine if you've seen that short film that it's come from, like it's like a thing. Like, it's a thing, guys.
Also, shout out to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I know I kind of like ran over that earlier, but shout out to that movie winning Best Animated Feature and superheroes representing, because that movie's awesome. But nonetheless, support movies
No matter what they are.
Even though Roma isn't my favorite movie of the year, and I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed it didn't win Best Picture. Support movies like Roma. Support movies like The Favorite, like Cold War, like Never Look Away, At Eternity's Gate, Willem Dafoe. Nominate that movie or support that movie. Can You Ever Forgive Me? Support these smaller movies because you're going to find something in them that you don't find in movies like, and again, Avengers Infinity War is my favorite movie of the year. There is stuff in these smaller movies that you will never get in Avengers Infinity War.
And no matter where you're watching them, though. Like,
you don't need to see them in the theater.
You're watching them in the theater or on Netflix. Like, we watched Roma here. Like, don't shy away from those original movies just because they're, like, Netflix or Hulu or Amazon original films.
Absolutely.
Amazon puts out great movies.
Minding the Gap was on Hulu. Movies, like seriously.
Just watch something that you've
Free
never
Solo
heard of.
winning Best Documentary.
Those are the best ones. The ones you've never seen a trailer for, the ones you've never heard of.
Just go beyond. Support these movies. Give them your money because otherwise movies like this are going to go away. And all you're going to get is another Avengers movie, another Frozen, another Toy Story, another Fast and the Furious, another 50 Shades of Grey, another Shrek. And some of those are perfectly fun. I love my Avengers. I love my Shrek. But a lot of people get up in arms about the fact that the Academy only nominates these, movies that don't get seen by anybody. They're pretty good, guys. Watch them. You might find something you like, and that might just be me being a snob. But I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it costs $2 to rent
a movie. And don't get me wrong, I definitely agree where movies like, I think Infinity War should have been nominated. I think Mission Impossible Fallout should have been nominated. There are plenty of movies that have not ever been looked at the Academy. A movie, again, one that I didn't necessarily love, but Hereditary, people love that movie, didn't even get looked at all by the Academy.
Even Crazy Rich Asians.
Absolutely. So there are movies out there. Again, we want to support every type of film. Just don't get boxed don't go into this box of just populist film. Open the doors to other films.
Even if you're not seeing them in the theater when they're out, when they're on Netflix,
support them.
Support them. Because I understand that not everyone can be like us, where we go see movies in the theater every week. But just watch everything. Watch
as much as you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff out there, and movies are life. Let's be real. Movies are the best. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the 91st Academy Awards. Thank you so much for watching this video and listening to what we have to say. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this crazy show that we got. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a crazy ride. It was good stuff. Maggie,
honestly, the best Oscars I've seen in a while, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I liked Kimmel hosting, but this was
it
good.
Just clipped really nice, and I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. So thanks as always for watching, guys. Be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, also hit that little bell icon so you get a notification every time we put out a new video, and let us know what you want to see us do next. We've got more videos coming up very soon. Now that the Oscars are over, I can take a break. I can take a breather. I saw all 52 films nominated, and it kind of makes me like I
kind of cried a little.
I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. So yeah, but be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe. It helps us out a great deal, and it helps you stay up to date with all of the latest videos. Maggie, do you have anything to plug?
If you want to watch Tim's reactions to the Oscars, be friends with him on Facebook, or be friends with me on Facebook.
Don't add me on Facebook.
Or follow me on Twitter, because I have an open Twitter. You can follow me there, and you can see it there.
And be sure to follow me on Twitter and all of the social medias at Tim Loves Movies. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Until next time, have a good one.